Yes, guys, every single club in world football right now is looking at Dean Hson and wishing they can sign him from Bournemouth this summer, including Spanish giants Real Madrid. The kid is only 19 years old. He got a beautiful assist the other night for Spain that was finished by Lamine Yamal, and in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about just what makes Dean Hson such a special young defender. Let's get into it. So let's take a little look on Sofascore, a website that I like to use here on GBFC. But this is the transfer history of Dean Hson. He was at Roma on loan, went back to Juventus and ended up being signed by Bournemouth for 15.2 million euros. First thing I want to say here, clubs like Bournemouth, Brighton are obviously one of the obvious ones regarding like buying players and then selling them for more money. This is a brilliant method for clubs like Bournemouth who are striving to go to the next level, to take a look at the top players in Europe, the youngsters, take a punt, take a risk, take a gamble, and then eventually you're going to be in a position like this summer where he's either going to stay or you're going to be able to absolutely cash in on him. What makes Dean Hson such a great player? Well, for starters, his first goal was against Manchester United in game week 17. That's where he scored for Bournemouth in a 3-0 away win. And then more importantly so, he got the winning goal at home to Spurs. And any player that can score against Spurs immediately gets me thinking, well, there might be something special about this kid, but we move. I'm going to throw a rogue shout out there right now because I won't lie to you, Dean Hson reminds me of one of the greatest defenders that the Premier League has ever seen. He reminds me of John Terry. The way that Terry used to step out from that Chelsea defence, and he was able to play those switch balls, those crossfield passes to perfection time and time again. Dean Hson, one of the great things about him is he is both-footed. He can play with his right and play with his left. And this goal that you can see right here is when he was 18 years old. You can see carrying the ball out from defence. He's not afraid to take players on. If there isn't a pass on that is better in terms of getting his team forward, he'll take the players on himself and he will finish it with an absolute plum. It's a beautiful goal. For Juventus, I think this one was. But something pretty spectacular here when it comes to the stats. And this is why, deep down, these clubs are thinking, well, this is a kid that we cannot pass the opportunity up to sign. When you see these numbers here, he's in the top 1% across Europe's top 5 leagues for defenders for interceptions. Shot creating actions, 1.56 per 90 minutes, puts him in the top 4% of centre-backs. And a shot-creating action is basically the 2 touches of the ball from a player that happen before a player takes a shot is called a shot-creating action. Clearances as well. This guy can also just get rid of it, getting rid of the ball. Defenders, you need to do that once in a while. It isn't always about dribbling, but this guy can do absolutely everything. That goal that he scored against United and Spurs puts him in the top 5% as well for non-penalty XG and X assists in the Premier League too. Progressive carries, these numbers are outrageous as well. 1.31 progressive carries per 90 minutes. And look, this is something that if you can have a defender that can bring this to the table, you don't need your midfielders to constantly be looking to make the runs or having to spray the balls all the time, because something that we see Dean Hson do on countless occasions for Bournemouth, and of course, tactically, the way that Bournemouth set up, particularly Milos Kerkesh, the Bournemouth left-back, we're going to talk about that a bit later in this video, but he enables Dean Hson to be so good. But if you look at these numbers here, when it comes to the passes attempted, long balls attempted per 90 minutes, 10.45. That is in the top 8% of players in Europe. And as a result of that, 0.6 key passes per 90 minutes. These numbers are absolutely brilliant for a centre-half. And look, it's a dying trade. I mentioned John Terry earlier on in this segment. Terry was creating chances, scoring goals, getting assists for Chelsea his whole career. And to be honest, I don't think we've actually seen a centre-back come into the Premier League and have this big of an impact in such a little amount of time. And Hson's obvious maturity for someone of his age is backed up by this point here from his manager, Andoni Iraola, who a lot of people consider to be one of the best tactical managers in the Premier League. Sometimes he will make mistakes like all the others, but there is always a reason for the things he does. And for someone that is 19, it's really strange to find that at this level. And this is the big thing that we've seen from Hson this season. He's not needed a season to kind of be bedded into this Bournemouth side. He's come straight in and is pretty much playing every single game and has become very key to the way that Bournemouth play. What Iraola's managed to achieve with HUIJSEN, Kirkesh and Semenyo left side this season for Bournemouth is something that absolutely needs to be studied, because what Iraola has done is he has used the skill sets that all of these three players have all together. A lot of times you see managers not actually playing and setting their teams up based on the actual attributes and skills that the players have. So when we take a look at the average heat map this season from Dean Hson, you can see stepping up out of the natural defensive position. When you're obviously in possession, you're stepping up the field, but it is predominantly in central areas. If we look at Milos Kirkesh, for example, in the Premier League this season, look at how much of the left-hand side of the pitch Milos Kirkesh has managed to hold, and it is predominantly on that touchline, and it is this width that Bournemouth have and the ball playing capabilities that Dean Hson brings to the team, which is what allows Bournemouth to unlock the potential of a player like Semenyo. If we take a look at this example, for instance, these are the average positions of the Bournemouth players away at Everton in a solid 2-0 away win. Dean Hson here taking up that position, which we saw on the averages. Kirkesh up and down the left-hand side. Semenyo waiting for these balls in that pocket of space over the top from Hson, and again hugging that touchline, allowing Daniel Jebison to score on that day. But Bournemouth this season, it has been so important the way that Dean Hson just literally looks up, sees a pass, and always looks to go forward. If we take a look at these passing statistics here, accurate long balls 52%, accurate chipped passes 61%. And it is the importance of those runs from Milos Kirkesh on the left-hand side and the play from Semenyo both on the wing and cutting inside that make Bournemouth such a difficult team to defend against. But look, when it comes to Dean Hson, the fact that he has come in and this is his first season in the Premier League and he's 19 years old, playing with this level of confidence. The fact that Chelsea are interested in signing this kid is exciting. I'm absolutely delighted with it. Real Madrid are also looking at him too, probably thinking, well, if this guy's already playing for Spain and he's doing a great job for Spain as well. Luis de la Fuente, the Spain manager, has also had brilliant things to say about Dean Hson because he's been so good. Even on the recent international break, I can see him going to Real Madrid. I think overall, when you're a Spanish centre-back, you're 19 years old, and Real Madrid already want to buy you, you might as well just go now and be successful for your entire career. Chelsea, I would just be concerned if I was Hson that maybe the build-up is a bit too slow. Maybe that invitation and the want for your centre-back to step out from the back and attempt those long passes because you've got overlapping runners as a fullback. Maybe the positions of Marc Cucurella being inverted on that left side mean that Howson's quality might be wasted at a team like Chelsea. Obviously, I'd love Chelsea to sign him. I think he's a brilliant player. When I was doing my research for this video, I think he's so key for the way that Bournemouth play. But is that going to be translatable going to a different side? Remains to be seen. But anyway, all of Europe's top clubs are looking at Dean Hson right now as one of the best up-and-coming centre-backs across all of the top leagues in Europe. Even Jose Mourinho, when he was managing at Roma, had the same to say about him. Where's he going to end up this summer? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I hope it's Chelsea, but at the same time, I hope we don't ruin him. It's probably going to be Real Madrid, isn't it? I'll see you guys in the next video.